Hello and a very warm welcome. Today we have a theme which comes directly out of our lives, of course. I want to go into industrial products which are very, very important. Of course, in households we have to weigh. That we determine the weight. What is that exactly? Actually, we determine the mass. The mass of something. When I have something, it pushes on my hand. Why does it push on my hand? Of course, because underneath the earth is a massive mass, which pulls at this little mass. And this gravity is what we feel as weight. And that was always important because when you are at the butcher's and want to buy a pound of sausages or so, you want to know if the weight is correct. Even when you buy sugar, flour or potatoes, or anything you buy, that means you always have to weigh. That is in our normal language settled in. If you take it exactly, totally exact, then we say he lays it on the golden scale. I have brought something with me, a sort of gold scales. Have a look at this. There's a little scale. I will turn it on. It can only weigh maximum of up to 30 grams, but with a very big resolution. For example, I can take a memory card and lay it on it. And as you can see, it weighs 0.267 grams. Or I lay a silver dollar from 1923 that brought my granddad from the States back. It weighs 19.76 grams, or something very noble, a Kruger Rand. Let's see what that weighs. 25.0, and so forth. So as you can see, I can determine very fine weights with this. When I want to weigh rough things, okay, let's say heavier. For example, I have here a silver block, 500 grams. And when I put it onto here, it stretches its wings. With this I need other things. And I would like to show you a few examples. How you can, in the industry, in trading, but also in households or whatever you want, the weight to determine as the mass of any article or product. So the first product I would like to show you is from PCE, the PCE CS1000N, a crane scale. Crane scale, why? Because you hang it somewhere, for example on a crane, at the top is a shackle, and then we have the actual scale in a massive metal casing with a big detail. Just to show you, my finger next to it looks pretty small against it. It's a really big background lid, very good to read, and extra information at the bottom. So as you can see, when I pull a little bit here, it starts to show some results. But exact is the scale first in its defined weighing area from 10 kilos to 1000 kilos. Here you can hang 1 ton onto. It is operated with premium batteries, which last up to 65 hours, and it is delivered with a remote control. With the remote control you can call up all functions like Tara, weighing in, that means we have something on it. With the weight I set the display to 0, put something extra onto it, and become then the additional weight. So I'd like to show you that now. When I take this basket, my shopping basket, with apples and nuts, which are very important, I hang it onto here. It is pretty heavy. As you can see, 10.6, now at 10.8, so it lays somewhere between that. This is because the triggering of the scale lays at 0.2 kilos, 200 grams. It's clear with a ton you don't have to be so accurate. That's good enough. It is easy to use, and one feature, if you do have different measuring units, you can also set your unit so you could take any sort of item. If you have lots of similar items and put this measuring unit in it, then it counts the items you have in it. So when we look at this PCE CS100N is a very stable, very precise and easy to use crane scale.
dienende Kranwaage. So, nehme ich meinen Futterkorb wieder.
So, thank you. So I'll take my eating basket off now because I want to go and get something to eat.
Jetzt habe ich eine
Now I have a package scale, and naturally you cannot only weigh packages with it, but so to say a dispatch scale. This is the PCE PB60N, and it can weigh up to 60 kilos. Minimum weight is 60 grams, and the triggering is 20 grams. So as you can see, it is pretty accurate. When I lay an apple onto it, it weighs 0.16 kilogram, so that's 160 gram. When I, for example, want to know what my apples weigh in my bowl, this is the wrong way, but this can, like other scales before, over the tara function be used. That means I'll put all my apples out, hoping that they don't fall down. By the way, we have picked them from the tree ourselves, so they are healthy, not sprayed. So now I put the bowl back on, and we can see 1.9 kilogram it weighs. Now I'll set the tara function to 0. Now it shows tara. And now when I put my apples onto it, I become naturally, when I finish the display, what the apples only weigh. There is a sort of plus weighing procedure. Naturally I can do this often by setting to 0 again and put more apples in the bowl. So I put my apples down there. I'll have to eat them this afternoon. There are other functions and I would like to show you them. Try to imagine I have here cans. I have thousands of them and I have to count them. And I cannot be bothered to count them. Then tell my scale, watch this. I would like to count now. And I have the possibility to say, we have now 5 pieces, or 10, or 20, or 30. When I have screws or other items and have lots of them, then I take more. And more exact is then the weighing. 50, 75, 100. So and now back to 5, and now I set it. And say OK. That are 5 cans, and that has the scale remembered. Now I put one more on it, so 6 cans, one more, 7 cans, 8, 9, 10. You can count just like me, but it doesn't miscount, so I also have a counting scale. When I simply pack items onto it and say, that are so many pieces, I put an unknown amount onto it, and that's how it works. This scale is also compatible with some posting stations, like DHL, and then you can take the data directly off the scale, out of the connections, and you can also fit it to a wall, and here transmit over the USB to the PC. And now I have changed it to weight, and now when I take my cans off, you can see it shows me the actual data rates. And not only DHL, but naturally GLS compatible, and then you can transfer everything automatically into your own EDV using the connections. So, but not only kilogram and pieces you have seen, but naturally you can show in newtons or lips, that means, and also English pounds and so forth. A very universal usable scale. For commercial usage, maybe it is good enough for private.